So when I say the words startup and entrepreneurship, most people will think of two things: Mark Zuckerberg or Shark Tank. Now, those two things, although they are involved with startups and entrepreneurship, are just the tip of the iceberg. And as I learned through my journey of entrepreneurship, there is a humongous iceberg that has yet to be discovered by most people. Since I was a little kid, I've had this crazy passion for cars, and I had this childhood dream of having a car company someday. And so I grew up, and then I went to college, and everybody told me, hey, you know what, Juan? You're going to go do oil and gas, and you're going to love it. And I was like, okay, right? And I did it for 2 years, and it wasn't really my thing. And so at that point, I decided to follow my dream that I've had since I was a kid and start a car company. But then reality checked. I had a reality check, and I asked myself, how do you business? Because as an engineer, the only thing we know about business is that at the end of the day, you have to have something called profit. And that's pretty much it. And so the only thing that occurred to me was to reach out to an old middle school buddy of mine who he himself is an entrepreneur. And I asked him, I was like, hey, Raksha, I have this crazy dream. People tell me I'm crazy, but I'm gonna do it anyways. What do I do? How do you business? And he told me, hey, you know what? There's this program here at UMH called Red Labs. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And so he had me go over there, and it's a tiny little room over at Bauer, and he told me, hey, you know, I'm an engineer too. I'm also an entrepreneur. Here at Red Labs, they do X, Y, and Z. And I'll talk about it in a little bit. And I said, okay, you know what? I'll give it a shot. You know, it's the only thing I really have to fulfill my dream of being an entrepreneur. And that unleashed this incredible world of business that, as an engineer, before that, I kind of scoffed at it. And I was like, oh, you know, business people are a little litter. I'm an engineer, I'm smart. And I actually learned is kind of both are incredibly important and incredibly awesome fields. And so this journey started out back in the summer of 2014. And at that point, I just had an idea. I just had, you know, a couple of sketches of what my car would be. And as of this day, we have 12 employees. We are looking to closing a round of investing. And it's this awesome journey that I've had. And I discovered that, you know, when you think of startups, you think of this place called Silicon Valley that's like all the way in the magical land of California. And that Texas is just a dry place where you get oil and gas, a little bit of NASA-ish, and a little bit of medicine, like cancer, and that's pretty much it. And I quickly learned that that's not the case. In fact, I learned that in Houston, there's this huge entrepreneurial community that's just flourishing, and nobody's really paying attention. And it's really sad because I've met so many incredible people. People like Andy, a good friend of mine, who his startup is doing this really new, cool 3D printer that uses light during the process of 3D printing to get really accurate models of whatever you're building. So you can actually 3D print jewelry, which has never been able to be done before. And then there's also a good friend, Kyle Dixon, his startup, Toby. They're doing an app where you can get a tow truck in just 10 minutes. And that's awesome. And then my friend Rashak was doing artificial intelligence and machine learning, something which for me is just, I'm not even gonna go there, it's just so crazy awesome. So I got involved with Red Labs, and they take you through this process of an accelerator program where you start out with your company over the summer, and through the 3 months of the summer, they help you grow, evolve, they help you test a lot of the hypotheses that you have in a business. And so as an engineer, I've always grown up with the mentality that everything you do should be in a logical, progressive way, and you test the hypotheses, you do experiments, you run them, and then you learn from that, you reiterate, and then voila, you have a pizza, or a spaceship. So you do that with your business. And in a way, they kind of guide you through the process hand in hand, but at the same time, they throw you into the wolves. And that really changed my perspective into what it really means to have a business and have a startup. Because like the social the movie about Facebook that came out recently, you think it's just partying and it's just living in a dorm and eating ramen all the time, but it's more than just that. You go out of your comfort zone every single day to talk to customers and really see why they would want to be interested in yourself. In my case, I've had the privilege to be able to do these customer interviews and get to drive incredible cars like Porsches and Aston Martins and all those fun things. And I've learned one really important thing about entrepreneurship that a lot of people really forget, is that every day you have to wake up with the mentality that you're doing something new that nobody else has done before, and that statistically speaking, you will fail, but that you have to do it anyways because it's your dream, it's your passion. And so, going through this program, and I can speak for a lot of people that I've met, you take everything that you've learned in the STEM field, or even just in business in general, and you put it to work. And that's a huge thing for a lot of us STEM majors, where you learn all this theory in class and you read your textbooks and you do all the equations, but at the end of the class you're like, okay, well, this, whatever. How does this pertain to building a car or an oil well? As an entrepreneur, I've gotten to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. Anywhere from having an emotional breakdown when your parents say that you're crazy, to getting an offer for a chunk of cash that you can't even count to. And having this community is so helpful. And it's not just about other entrepreneurs within U of H or Rice. There's a huge community outside of these schools where people have been there, done that, and they can help you out as mentors. In fact, I have mentors who even worked in the very first MacBook Air, right with Steve Jobs and Johnny Ive. And mentors who have gone through network marketing, real estate, and then oil and gas. And so, if you have an idea for a business or for a product, as long as it's not a food truck app, as long as you have an idea for a product and you want to build something worthwhile and you want to have an impact in the world, I suggest you take for it, you go for it. It might be the best thing you've ever done in your entire life. Statistically speaking, you will fail. But I've learned that through failing, you learn a lot more and you become more successful the next time around. Even I myself, I've had several failures within my company, and we're still here building and moving forward. Entrepreneurship is a long word, and sometimes it just gets thrown around. But it really is, in essence, a journey of learning and making people happy. And not just other people happy, but yourself. Because as an entrepreneur, what you're doing every day should be the thing that makes you super happy at the end of the night. Because it's hard work, long hours, but it's so fulfilling. And so before I end, I want to thank two people that have made this incredible journey for me, for other entrepreneurs possible. Kelly and Hassan, who have led this program since before I ever met them. And so I do encourage you, if you have an idea for something, even if it's for another car company that's going to compete against mine, go ahead and do it. Because it's an awesome journey, you're going to learn a lot, you will meet really cool people, and you get to do some really cool stuff. Thank you.